Hey there, guys. Welcome back to Man Talks Abuse. I ask you to please subscribe, share, like. Let's talk about lies, lies, lies. When you are in a relationship with someone like this, and we'll just go ahead and say what it is right now. We've already established it. That is narcissistic personality disorder. And also, I want to say, and I'm going to try to continue to say, if you have never been involved in any kind of relationship with these types of people, you just don't understand, and that's okay. Also, if you are involved with these kinds of people on any level, you do understand. And number three, if you're just now beginning to wake up and, for lack of a better word, smell the coffee, smell the hot chocolate, smell the tea, smell something, and you sense something is off, and that's really what drew you to listen to this talk, you're on the right track. Let me say again, you're on the right track. You know, I told you that I was in a platonic relationship with my music slash business partner. We lived together for over 20 something years. But over the years, in retrospect, I can clearly see the lies, the lies, the lies. And if I'm to be honest, I've always felt the lies, but they didn't get so obvious until later years. Uh, I would always find things that didn't line up, uh, and I would hear things through the wind of some mutual friends of ours that he's here, he's there, he's doing X, Y, Z, and nothing per se in itself is wrong with doing X, Y, Z. But when someone feels the need or the compulsion to always lie about everything, something is off. They're hiding a dirty little secret somewhere. And the crazy thing is this, it's not so crazy now. I have began to realize I never knew anything at all about this person because, and you've heard people say this before, if their mouth is moving, they're lying. And that has become very clear to me. There will be a half truth here, a half truth there, but nothing the whole truth. So help you God. Nothing was ever the whole truth. And when you're in a relationship with someone like this, it does work on your psyche. And it does work on you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of it. Because you know in your gut, in your intuition, in your soul, in your spirit, something is off, but you can't quite put your finger on it, but your soul, spirit, mind, heart, soul, intuition is speaking to you and saying, something is off here. Don't fall for it. And when you live in a situation like this, day in and day out, it affects you. It gives you some kind of, it keeps you in a fog. I was going to say it makes you crazy, but it doesn't really make you crazy, but it does really keep you in a fog. And you never, never, never know the full truth. Just imagine. Go here with me for a minute. For those of you who are cohabitating and you're in a relationship with someone and you've been there for a while, but sooner or later, something inside of you says, your whole being says, something is off here. The way they speak, the way they explain themselves, the way they go missing. And then when they return, it's like, oh, I was here, but I forgot to call. I was here, but I lost my phone. I was there, but XYZ. And sooner or later, things add up. It leaves you in a state of not trusting, and I can truly say, I will never, ever, ever trust this person again. I will never, ever trust anything that comes out of his mouth. One of the most horrendous things he did, he was on a job, and I woke up the next morning. His light was on in his room, but he wasn't there. That was kind of odd. And so I called him. He did not answer his phone. I called him. He did not answer his phone. I called his supervisor, whom I had the number to, and his supervisor acted so cool, calm, and collected. And so eventually I'm still trying to call him because I'm concerned about him, because before he left, he said that he was on a job where people had weapons. That's what he told me. Whether that was true or not, I do not know, but follow me. So he told me he was going on a job where people had weapons, meaning guns. And I said, well, be safe. He left. He did not return. I woke up. I went to his room about 10 o'clock that next morning. Not there. I called. No answer. Went directly to voicemail. Then I began to get in a panic. I called his supervisor, as I said, and his supervisor was as cool as a cucumber, as they say. And finally, I hung up the phone. I returned. I called again, my roommate / business partner, and went directly to voicemail. At this point, I called his supervisor back, and I literally, I'll be honest with you, I started cursing him because I said, where is he? He is not around. I don't know where he is. Again, his supervisor was as cool as a cucumber. So I called his brother. I called my sister. I called my family in a panic, crying my eyes out. I told him, I said, well, I don't know what happened. I said, I'm driving to make a police report. I began to make the police report, still crying at the police department, and they said, yes, sir, this sounds like a missing person. Something has gone awry. And just as the policeman was about to put his photograph on the web, on the news, about a missing person, just as it was getting ready to roll out, he calls. Yes, he calls and said, oh, I'm sorry, I've just been out all night and I'm kind of shaken because I'm kind of disheveled because something did happen. I will explain to you later what happened. And I hung up on him. And fast forward, finally and I'm going to say finally he came home. And he came there with, I could tell by his mannerisms, so to speak, his the way he was carrying himself, that nothing had happened that night. He was out all night with whomever he was with because he has a sex addiction. And with him being out all night with the sex addiction, at this point, I didn't care. My point is this, guys. This person was so willing to keep up the lie. He was willing to put my head, my whole system, into a state of shock to deceive me this way. And I will never, ever, ever forget that. And how do I know it was a lie? Because eventually I checked out things. Things did not add up. Things did not just add up. For instance, his supervisor never once got excited. Bam, bam, bam. His supervisor probably already knew what was going on. And, you know, that was very shocking and very hurtful, but also very telling. That's just one of the lies that he constructed. But again, there is, trust me when I say this, there's no limit. There's no limit, there's no limit, there's no limit to the lies, the cover-ups, and the secrets. These people are very dangerous. These people are very dangerous. These people are very dangerous. And they will lie, 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 they will lie. If they are walking, they're lying. If they're looking, they're lying. If they're hearing, they're lying. If they're speaking, they are lying. Trust your gut. Trust your soul. Trust your spirit. Trust your intuition. Lie, lie, lie. And lies.